How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation, time to get that imagination all revved up, get into some creativity, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Chris Baker. And if you're not familiar with his work, check right over here. He is a wonderful artist. He's worked on Corpse Bride, AI. He's worked, done sketching alongside Stanley Kubrick. Just a phenomenal body of work. A bunch of other movies too. Definitely check out more stuff from him. I'll throw a couple links in the description below. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's too much that's current for his work. It seems like his current site is down at the moment. But I'll throw some stuff for you guys to check out. And that being said, there isn't a whole bevy of high-res images of his work, but there is a couple that I wanted to share because I think they're just really, really cool imagination for sure. This is one of the ones from AI, and just the way that he renders these heads and then combine them with the roads that would be driving through the throat and the mouth. It's just a really interesting concept. I love that. Really just beautifully done. Again, more stuff from AI. Really like his style. It feels very loose, but at the same time just right on point with perspective and structure and everything for his composition. A really wonderful imagination for sure. Another piece from his earlier work, and getting back into more stuff from AI. But like I said, I really like the composition here. I love the muted colors of just variations of a little bit of brown, but mostly black and white. Gorgeous stuff. So I really urge you guys to check out more from him. I'll throw a couple links in the description below. I just love his imagination and his ability to render new ideas and new thoughts and come up with different worlds and all that kind of stuff. But I did want to share a quote that I was able to find from an interview that he did. And he said, "You don't want someone to say everything you do is fabulous, because in the end, you get suspicious. Everything can't be that good. Something's got to be bad." I think that's a great way to look at it. I know, especially online, if you're any sort of creative person, there's a lot of, I guess not every single person would feel this way. A lot of people feel intimidated by putting their creative work up because they're going to get made fun of, or they're going to get laughed at, or get criticized, or get critiqued, or all that kind of stuff. But the fact of the matter is, you have to start somewhere. I was looking at a thread on Reddit the other day that had the Beatles, a picture of them playing for 18, 19 people a year and a half before they just swarmed the world, and you couldn't go anywhere without Beatlemania everywhere. And at some point you got to start with your 18 people in a room that you're playing for, and you just keep on going and learn and grow and try and keep trying and pick yourself up and try again, and not listen to the negative voice that says to stop. But definitely listen to the critiques and the criticisms, because I think you can learn from those. Even if it's not something you necessarily agree with, you can at least get a different perspective on your own work. So I really challenge you guys to not be afraid and not be intimidated of what other people might say. I know there can be a lot of negativity online for sure, if you're doing any work or sharing any of your work, but chances are, if you're really passionate about it and if you really love what you do, you're going to resonate with somebody, even if they just recognize that you're trying and you're putting stuff out there. People will want to see more from you. People like people that go out and do something and try and put themselves out there. A lot of times I think the negativity swells from people being jealous or afraid themselves and just kind of putting that out there. But especially when it comes to the art world, don't be afraid for critiques. Always ask for critiques anywhere you can. You want to get better. You want to have a goal that you aim for, and all the advice and all of the suggestions you can get along the way are only going to help give you a different perspective and help grow and focus you, whether you agree with them or whether you disagree. It's just going to help focus you for what you want. So that being said, I'm getting rambly, so let's get into some animation. This is the generic dude rig. It's a free rig, part of the External World collection of rigs from davidorreilly.com. The link will be in the description below if you guys want to play around with it. And if you're not familiar with what we'll be doing for the rest of the video, I go off and I find a rig that I've never used before. It's a free resource for you guys to play around with as well. And we kind of go from there. A little bit of over the shoulder, just hang out with me while I animate. We're going to give ourselves usually around 48 frames or so. And kind of talk through the process or talk about something to do with the creative world in general. And the main goal of doing these videos each and every day is to hopefully encourage you guys and inspire you to go off and create your own unique, amazing, imaginative content, and to take another step in your journey each and every day. And especially looking back to the quote from Chris Baker: "Don't be afraid. You can do it. You're gonna get criticism. It's gonna happen. It's okay. Everybody gets criticism. Even people who have million dollar budget movies get critiqued, and sometimes those movies flop and everything. But it's important to keep going and to keep trying and to never give up on your dreams. So let's go ahead and play. So for this one, for some reason, I feel like we should do a run with this guy. And I think we should do a run with small, high steps for this guy. So not very long steps, but just really high steps. So let's try and create a more interesting pose here. Do more bent arms rather than have them go out so far. And not so far back, the drag there. Like that. And let's rotate this hand a little bit more. X. Something like that. This one. Something like that. Let's rotate that neck in. Clench these hands together so we'll have more of a fist. Doesn't have to be super tight, but at least something more than this. And I think I'm going to need to tweak some of the posing still here a little bit in this hand. This one, we'll bring it up a little more, squish it in. And I think we want to pull his thumb out a little bit more. It's not going to be intersecting through there. There we go. And grab this one, bring it up a little bit more. Over and tilt it a little bit too. Bring it in. And bend that thumb over. And this one as well. And let's tilt this in a little bit here. So a little more uniformity there. Okay, and let's let's look at the other side. Go ahead and save our file just real quick. We are using Autodesk Maya 2014, by the way, for today's video. For more information on that and all the stuff that we talked about, plus I always link to a couple great animation book resources too, if you guys want to check those out as well. All of it will be in the description below. And bring these up here. Just keep tweaking this hand pose. We're getting there. And we'll start getting into some of our movement here. And do the same thing on the thumb. We gotta pull that out a little bit more. Let's bring that one over a little bit as well. And same here. Doesn't look to be perfect, but a little bit more than what we had before. Alright. So I think we'll start somewhere like that. That sound good? Okay. Go ahead and save our file again. And then make sure we just have our nerve curves, nerve surfaces, and polygons selected, so we're not keying anything we don't need to. We'll go ahead and grab everything and hit S on the keyboard, and we'll set our first key. And I think we'll work on 8s. Does that seem good? And we'll just kind of flick between these two poses on the leg here. See if this will be too slow or too fast for what we want to do. Other foot, and we'll mimic that pose there. Okay, bring that back there, delete it, and then we'll flip between those two keys there. And let's see. In, zero it out here, zero it out there, zero it out there, zero it there, go back, let's see. Okay, it's probably a bit much, but we'll keep tweaking it. And then we'll go 3 frames in, and we'll zero it out. 13, zero out, 3 frames in, zero out, and keep it on the ground there. And let's see. So we get nice high steps there. Good amount of weight there too. So let's look at our translate Y's. Go and drop it down there. Up here. Down there. And I think I'm going to switch this this a couple frames too, but I'm just starting to build it here. And then back to where we were. Yeah, I think it needs to be every 4 frames then instead of 8 frames. Sorry. Did it want it to be every 4 frames? It's gotta be per step. And bring that over. Keep another one in here. Keep another one. Another one. And another one. Alright. And we'll grab every other one here. Put those back down. Invert that somehow. Okay. Let's see how we're doing. That's better. So you want it to go down, up, down, up. Yeah, that's better. And let's balance out those translate Y's a little bit more. I think we might even universally just move them down a little bit more. Let's see how we're doing. So yeah, really pretty high steps, and we've got a good amount of weight there with them too. Okay, and let's do a little bit of translate X over the planted foot there, 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 and there, back, and back to 0. Great. And we'll take that translate X and we'll minimize it a little bit more. Bring that back, this back, and let's see how we're doing. And let's add a little bit of rotate Z in there. Back this way, back this way. I think I'm going to keep the chest and hips a little more rigid than I normally would, just because I kind of like the idea of his upper body's a little bit stiffer. And the legs are kind of what should be a big focus there, which is also why I bent the arms a little bit more so we don't get really big swings through the arms. Keep those kind of a little more subtle. And let's see. And let's do a little bit of rotate Y here. So we favor the front upward leg. And normally I do that on the contact, but we have everything else going on the frame, so we'll switch it up a little bit more. And then back to where we started. Alright, and let's look at those rotate Y's. Let's scale it back a bit more. Even them out to. See our file real quick here. And we'll scale them back to there. Try to keep them even so we're not favoring the left side or the right side. And let's see how we're doing. Okay. And let's look at the chest now. We'll do a little bit to offset there. So we'll do a little bit of rotate X there so we get a little bit of that twist here. Again, we don't need a lot of it, but a little bit. Probably cut what we have here about in half too. Yeah, let's do about half of that. Like I said, I kind of want to keep the chest a little bit stiffer. So it might mean we have to tone down the hips as well. let's scale that back a little bit more, balance it out. I think I want it to be right around here. It's a little bit less than what we have, and then I think I'm going to pull the hips back a little bit more too. Yeah, let's see. Actually, that's not too bad. Alright, go ahead and save our file again, and let's take a look at the arms, see if we can build in a little bit of movement there. And we'll rotate that back here, and forward there, back here, forward there, back here, and forward there. Okay, and let's look at the other side. Like I said, I don't want the arms to be really the main focus here, but we still want a little bit of movement through there. Back, forward, back, forward, and back. And let's see how we're doing. I think we might tone up the translate Y a little bit more, and take the translate X and scale that back just a little bit as well. Let's see that. Right, and let's look at the hands. Try and do a little bit of movement here. Just a little more rotate up there. A little bit of drag. A little bit of rotate up, a little bit of drag, a little bit of rotate up, a little bit of drag, and back. And I think I'm going to take that this wrist here. And I'm sure we don't need it that broken. Go up more like that, down like that, up there, down there, up here, and back. And let's kind of find a better medium ground in there. Let's see. Not too much drag, I think. Not enough up, so let's try to rectify that a little better. Close. Let's try this. And let's add a little bit of forearm here. Up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit, down, up, and back again. And let's see how that works. It's probably just too over-exaggerated here, so let's just scale it back a little bit more. Yeah, I think we probably tone this one up a little bit more. Let's see. And have it favor the down position a little bit more. So this needs to definitely be bent upward more. And this needs to go downward a little bit more. Yeah, it feels a little better. And this one might be a little too far forward. So let's pull those back a little bit. save that, and let's look at the feet here. Let's do a little bit of rotate up here, and then flatten it out. Rotate it up here, and flatten it out. Rotate it up here, and flatten it out. Yeah, let's see how that goes. Alright, and let's look at the other side. We'll rotate it up here, and flatten it out. Rotate it up, flatten it out, rotate it up, flatten it out, and that'll help us get more of that peel to the foot. Maybe we'll do a little more drag here, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, and let's look at the other side. Again, just a little bit. Just to curve that tangent a little bit more. Okay, and then let's go ahead and do a little bit of toe here. So start off with do a little bit of toe up here. And flatten it out there. And drag it back there. Out there, drag it back there, lift it up here, flatten it out there, and drag it back here. Now let's see if that's enough. No, it's not. So we need to, for sure, have our foot flat for at least 2 frames there to help sell that contact a little bit better. And let's tone the toe down quite a bit more. You just don't need a lot of it. There's already so much with the rotation and everything in there, but a little bit will help. Just to get that little bit of change of shape there. And then we'll do a little bit of drag here, a little bit up there, and flatten it out. Then a little bit of drag there, a little bit up here, and then flatten it out. A little bit of drag there, a little bit up here, then flatten it out, and then we'll get back. Like I said, just make those feet a little bit floppier, but not too much. I still want those at least 2 frames of solid with the feet planted on the ground. Alright, now let's do a little bit of compression in the chest here. So let's go here, we'll rotate it forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. And we'll offset that in the chest here in a moment. So that's what it would look like if we didn't offset it. So that's why we're going. And we're also going to scale it back a little bit more. Bring it back. Even it out pretty good. do some cleanup there, but I think that'll start to work here. Try and find kind of where I was probably aiming from, a good middle ground there. If most of the values are around a certain point, that's probably where you're aiming. So let's see how that feels. Right, and let's keep polishing that up a little bit more. Maybe tone it down a little bit more as well. And look at those rotate X's one more time. Let's see that now. Okay, and let's look at the head. Maybe we could do a little bit of back and forth on the head here. Up and down, rather. Just a little bit. It's already got enough from the chest and the hips and everything, which is why I like to do that. It just loosens up the body a little bit more. Bring that back, and let's see that now. First of all, I'd probably delay it a frame, maybe even 2 frames, and then cut it down quite a bit as well. So let's cut it down and then delay it a frame. Let's see how that feels. And still do about half of the movement that we have there. Let's see now. Like I said, just a little bit of looseness in the head. Then I think we need to do the fingers, and then after that, I think that'll do it. So let's go ahead and save our file here, and let's go back to the fingers. In this case, I'm just going to grab all of the bases here. And we're just going to do a little bit of drag forward and drag back. Don't need a lot of this. There's not a lot of motion in the wrist even, but we still want to throw that in there just to help loosen everything up a little bit more. And then bring it back. Right, and then we'll take the index and we'll push it forward a frame, and the pinky, and we'll delay the frame here, and let's look at the thumb. Give me a little bit of movement here. So this will be a little bit tighter down there. This will be a little bit looser. Looking at that the right way. Should be dragging there. Loosening up a little bit there. Go back. Alright. Well, I don't know that I did the right thing there, but we'll see. We'll watch it a couple times and see how we approached it there. Just give us a little bit of movement in that thumb. Doesn't have to be a lot. Alright, and let's go to this hand. Grab these fingers, and then we'll drag them back a little bit here. Forward a little bit there. Back. Forward. Back. Forward. And back to where I started. We'll take the index, push it forward a frame so it'll lead, and the back so it'll follow. And then we'll look at the thumb. Loosen it up there, drag it there, loosen it up there, drag it there. pretty high-stepped run after that. I'd probably spend another hour cleaning this thing up and loosening it up even more, but I think I liked a little bit more stiffness in the upper body with a little more weight and high steps in the feet. So let's take a look back at where we started. We're looking at the beautiful work of Chris Baker, and he said, you don't want someone to say everything you do is fabulous, because in the end you get suspicious. Everything can't be that good. Something's got to be bad. So don't worry if you're creating something that you don't love. It's okay. Not everything you do, what do they say, everyone has 10,000 horrible drawings in them, so try and get them out of the way as soon as you can. And I think that's, it's all a learning process, and I would never say that I'm a master craftsman of anything. I'm learning lots of things, but even the more I learn, I realize the less the phrase kind of goes, the more you think you know, the less you really do. So I think you try to be open to learning things from any place that you can, and growing and not being afraid to fail and continuing to push forward. And it's all about that journey. So I love you guys lots. I hope that you created something amazing and wonderful using your creativity and using your imagination. If you're watching this, remember you are the creative future, so you have to go out there and make something and do something. No one else is going to do it. No one else has your mind and your brain and your love of whatever it is that you love. So do those dreams that you have in you, because no one else has them. Alright, I love you guys lots. I'm getting rambly, so we'll wrap it up for today. I had fun with you guys, and we will see you for some more animation tomorrow.